Hey YouTube, this is Sunny Rain 247, and let's see. Today I am late doing this video. It's supposed to be for December 19th. Today is actually December 23rd, so I'm several days late. But for accountability purposes, I thought it was very important to make the video for several reasons. Number one, because this is my first video. This is my first video during the holidays, post lap band surgery. So I thought it was very important to make this video, to be accountable, to talk about how things are going during the holidays. This is my 18th week post lap band surgery. Started out on the day of surgery, 200 pounds. My highest weight right before I started surgery was 205, although that's not the highest I've ever been. But when I started looking into lap band surgery, I was 205. On the day of surgery, I was 200. When I did my last video for my 17th week post-op, I was 160.2, and for this week, because I weigh on the same day every week, so for this video my weight is 158, so that makes me down 2.2 pounds for a total of 42 pounds from the date of surgery, total of 47 pounds. So that's good. That's good. And I just put a video out, a very short montage of and it is not at all. It was not at all pictures in totality, but it was just a very short montage of where I started and sort of how I look now. But I left out a lot, and I'm still learning how to do the montage, so I made it very short and sweet, hopefully. And wanting to thank all of you for your support, because believe me, I could not have done it without you. Even though I have the support group that I go to, this is the support group that gets me through all of the bad times that I've had, and believe me, I've had some. And I have to tell you about what's going on this week. The holidays are very, very stressful, and I certainly have had my share of stress. And this week, I found myself eating. I go out shopping. I took off a few days, and you go out and you do your shopping, and there's all these things that you want to do, and there's no way you're going to be able to do all of them, right? And we all have these little triggers, and there's certain foods that I eat only around the holidays. There in California, I live in Southern California, there is a candy place called See's Candy, S-E-E-S. For those of you who live in California or around California, you might be familiar with See's Candy. It's very funny. I can drive by See's Candy during the year and not even look at it, but there is something about the holidays. I drive by a See's Candy shop, and my car just kind of does an automatic turn into the parking lot. Now, I've been doing well. I haven't been going by See's Candy. I've had to buy some See's Candy for, there's just certain people I buy it for the holidays, and I've bought boxes and I've had them, and I've even had some around the house and haven't eaten them. And I've had a piece of chocolate here and there over the past month, because around Thanksgiving is when people start eating them, right? Okay, well, this week I came home and I dropped, boxes of things I had bought, and I was tired, and I ate a See's Candy and a piece. They come in little pieces, and by the time I looked around, I had eaten 7 pieces of See's Candy. 7 pieces of See's Candy. I don't even remember how that happened, but it did. So first I ate 6, and then I ate 7. Then I ate that 7th piece. So of course I was feeling terribly guilty, and in my mind I thought I'd eaten about 3,000 calories. I did go and look up to see how many calories, how much protein, how many carbs, how much sugar, and the whole bit. And I found that I hadn't eaten nearly as many calories as I thought. But still, I felt, the guilt. The guilt is what is so, that is what I think can throw us off as dieters, right? It's the guilt of how we feel. And I wanted to share this with you. I heard recently, I went to a talk recently. It was a lecture that was given at my work by an addiction specialist, and he said something that I thought, I had an aha moment, and that aha moment, I had to think of it at that moment, because he said, when dealing with addiction, relapse is the rule and not the exception. Relapse is the rule and not the exception when dealing with people who have addictions. And so people who are, whether it's a health care provider, addiction specialist, social worker, whatever, nurse, in whatever role you are, you have to remember that. And that applies to food also. And so it's important that we don't beat ourselves up. And even though I know that intellectually, it's very hard not to beat ourselves up, right? And not to say, oh, well, I've eaten this, so why not just eat that, right? And so for that entire evening and the next day, I just felt crummy. I just felt really bad, and it was on my mind, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to gain 5 pounds, and everything I've done is for naught, and I'm going to gain all my weight back, and it's just over. And I went online, and I watched so many videos, and I cannot tell you, I watched videos I've watched before, I watched them over, and it's just too many people to mention, but this community is what helped me pick myself back up and say, okay, you ate the candy, so what? Go to the gym, drink your water, eat your protein, chew, do what you got to do. You did it, move on. And the See's candy is in the freezer, and it will stay in the freezer. I'm not the type of person that'll go in the freezer and get it. And it's so funny because after the holidays, I'm very good about it. I won't have that feeling of being out of control around it, but it's something about certain foods, and I'm sure many of you understand what I mean about certain triggers and holidays and foods. So anyway, that's where I am. I thought it was important to share that, to be accountable, to talk about it. I saw, I think Winsong talked about she having a bad week last week, and Exit Melanie also talked about smoking cessation and how that issue. And we know that even though with addiction, relapse is the rule but not the exception, we also know that there are people who, with their addictions, have been sober for 30, 40 years, have stopped smoking 50 years ago, they haven't picked up a cigarette. So the difference with food is that we have to eat, right? But I think just like with people who practice their 12 steps, we have to continue practicing with our rules. And as long as we continue practicing with our rules, that will help us to continue to stay on track. And when we do get off track, that will help us to get back on track. I think there should probably be an 11th rule. I just saw this. I picked up my nutritional guidelines for After Lap Band, which is what I got. And I just reread this recently, and the one thing that people don't talk about when they talk about the 10 rules is the one that says, stop eating when you're satisfied, not full. And satisfied is in all capital letters. Satisfied, not full. And that's something to talk about on another day, because, wow, what does satisfied really mean when we're talking about food? Since many times we're eating for so many different reasons. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Things are back on track. Christmas is in 2 days. Everybody have a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for your support. I hope this video wasn't too long, but I just wanted to share what has happened. Let's have a wonderful Christmas. Go into 2011 with renewed optimism and spirit, and keep on keeping on. Thank you for all your support. See you soon. Bye-bye.